Entrepreneurs, in this video, I'm going to show you 5 different plays on how to get to $1 million from absolute scratch. 5 different strategies, and I'm going to give you my bonus strategy right here. This will look like the actual play, and I'm going to walk you through who pays you, what are the economics of the deal, how do you acquire these deals or these customers, what is the operations, like how does it work, what's the goal here? And most importantly, what's the mindset here? I'm going to do that for all of these 5 plays. And if you stay to the very end, I'm going to show you one bonus play to get equity in companies and how to get bought out from those companies for a lucrative cash lump sum. This is a strategy that I personally use in order to fund my business ventures.
So the reason I'm making this video is because one of my followers, let's call him Mr. R, he just moved to a specific city in Mexico. This is actually his hometown. He's going to handle some family business there. He has a lot of connections in the business world and he's used to throwing events. So he reached out to me and he said, hey, how can I leverage my connections here in the local business world? And how can I leverage my expertise in the event throwing space? So I'm making this video as a response to him. By the way, if you would like to get some one-on-one consulting with me, go ahead and send me a direct message on Instagram at Talented Mr. Sala. If we can't work together, I might just make you a video like this. So I wanted to give you some context on what this video is actually about and where it come from. Now back to the video.
Play number 1. All right, so if I'm you, the first thing I'm doing is I'm contacting all of the franchises that I know in the marketplace, and I want to get finder's fees from them. So I'll tell you what I mean here in just a bit. Here's the strategy. Here's the game. So who pays this? Either the franchisors or the master franchisees. So just a little bit of business insider knowledge. There's 2 separate people at play here. One is going to be the franchisor, and the other one is going to be the master franchisee. The master franchisee is an investor who purchases the right to develop a franchise network in a specific territory, acting as a local franchisor on behalf of the original franchisor by recruiting and supporting individual franchisees within that area. So basically they say, hey, for this franchise, I'm the king of this city in Mexico. That's me. I got this under lock. I got the north side, the south side, the east side, the west side. Anybody who wants to buy a franchise for your franchise in this city, I own the territory. They got to go through me. So that's a master franchisor. So those are one of the people you want to target because they're going to pay you. The other people are going to be a franchisor. A franchisor is somebody who owns the concept of the business, the trademark, and the operating system. And most importantly, the franchisor retains ultimate ownership and control of the brand. So those are the 2 people that I'm targeting for this first play. And here's how the economics work out. Every franchise charges approximately $30,000 to $250,000, sometimes up to $1 million. Like if you want to get a McDonald's, it's $1 million. That's the franchise fee. So you want to charge 20 to 40% of that. Your target here is about 15 to 30,000. I think that's a good, healthy budget for these franchises. And let's just call it even at 20,000. I think 20,000 is a good average price point for a finder's fee to present these franchisors and master franchisees qualified buyers. So you say, hey, here's Frank. Frank's going to buy a franchise off you. Give me 20,000. Boom. They'll take that deal all the time because these franchisors, they're making money off of so many things. They're making money off the royalties, the franchise fees. They'll charge marketing fees, operations fees. Sometimes they make money off of the supplies because they force you to buy supplies to them. So 20,000 for you to bring them a qualified buyer that's going to make them a whole boatload of money, LTV, lifetime value, is nothing for these big franchises. This is a solid fee. Now, how are you going to acquire these people? That's a great question. So you're going to do this through events. Every month, we're going to get into this a little bit later because that's one of our strategies, but every month you're going to be throwing in events. Also, this guy, Mr. R, is actually an expert in throwing events. So this is right up his alley. The events that he's thrown in the past has been, let's just say, more party focused. And now these are going to be more business focused events. So at these business events, you want to start pitching the idea and maybe even having sponsors. And again, we'll get into that a lot later for one of the other plays. But you want to start having people come to these events and introduce them to this idea of starting a franchise. You can also start to do YouTube case studies where you have a YouTube channel and you just go and say, hey, this is somebody who started a franchise. You don't even have to have helped them. You could just go to some of the franchises you're partnered with or want to partner with and say, hey, Can I interview one of your franchisees? Perfect. Free publicity for them. They'll do it. And then you could even partner with these franchises and say, hey, every month I'm going to do a webinar, or every couple of weeks I'm going to do a webinar to educate people on this. So here's a pro tip. I want you to partner with 3 to 10 franchises and cycle through franchises every month. So month 1 is going to be Pizza Hut. Month 2 is going to be Domino's. Month 3 is going to be a regional chain there in Mexico that doesn't have a high fee, but it has a lot higher upside. Then you're going to go with number 4 for Papa John's, and then number 5 with Jimmy John's, and then number 6 with Wingstop, then number 7 with Buffalo Wild Wings. You want to start cycling through a mix of, I would say, 70% global chains, or at least American proven franchises, and then start to sprinkle in some of the Mexican franchises that are available to you. That's what I would do. So now let's talk about the operations of this. First, super simple. You got to qualify buyers. Whether you meet them through events, webinars, introductions, whatever the case is, you want to start to qualify buyers. You will then intro and hand off those buyers, and then you will track the close. Now, as a bonus, this has low fulfillment, which is great. It's super easy to do this because you're just handing them off to the business owners. The business owners who are the franchisors or the master franchisees, they're going to handle everything. Now, remember, we said our target is 20,000 per franchise. The goal here is to sell 20 franchises 50 times, and that's going to get you to $1 million. 50 people is not a lot of people. There's a lot of people with money. There are thousands of franchises sold every single day. Why not you? This is literally one person a week. Now, what is your mindset here? So your mindset here is that you are a bird dog for franchises. What does that mean? That means that you go out and you qualify buyers. You make intros, you build relationships, and then you hand off these warm relationships to these businesses, these franchises, and you say, hey, let me present to you John. John has money, John is qualified, and John's looking for a franchise. Hey, John, here's my contact over at Papa John's. They're going to handle you all the way from here. John, you're in great hands. Papa John's is a great company. And then you could introduce them to 3 to 5 or all 10 of your franchises that you partner with. And then John can make the best decision for themselves. And you can even advise them. You could even consult them. You could even tell them, what are you seeing? Because you're the guy that's boots on the ground in your marketplace. So that was play number 1, working with franchises and getting finder's fees for brokering the deal. Now let's jump into play number 2. This one here is right up my alley. As you know, I love me some real estate. There's a lot of new construction going off in Mexico, a lot of new construction, especially in your market. So I want you to develop referrals with developers, people who are doing new build construction in the real estate game. So again, we're going to go through the same framework. Now the payers here, the people that are going to pay you, are developers or sales offices. Those are the people that are going to pay you, developers or sales offices. Sometimes developers work with third-party sales teams to lease out or sell their apartments or their condos or their project. So I want you to develop relationships with them, and here's how that's going to work. You want to set up a fixed referral fee. It could be 1 to 3% or $3,000 to $10,000 per unit. That's basically what an agent makes. They don't have to pay an agent. They don't got to deal with an agent. Agents suck. Agents are flaky. Agents don't qualify their buyers. Trust me, I know. I've worked with lots of real estate agents. As a real estate agent myself, most real estate agents freaking suck. So how do you acquire these people? Well, going back to the events that you throw, we're going to get into that here in just a bit. But in your in-person events that you throw, you're going to start to qualify people and identify people that are looking to buy. You also want to have discovery trips. This is where you're like, for this weekend, we're going to come out and we're going to look at real estate, and you're going to get to personally understand the real estate market, the schools. I'm going to have all the people here for you. I'm going to have the people from the private schools, the public schools. You're going to talk to healthcare professionals. What would it be like to relocate to Mexico in my city? And that's only going to happen a few times a year. More regularly, you're going to be doing webinars. This is a virtual presentation where they don't have to come all the way to Mexico from wherever they're from, and you're going to educate them. And it's basically going to be a shorter version of this. This would actually be selling to these discovery trips. Another thing you want to do is you want to have a website or some type. It could even be like a Google document or like a Google folder or a Google Drive. It doesn't have to be a website. It'd be a lot more professional. If it was a website, it could even be an email list, but you want to have some type of pre-vetted inventory page where you're saying, hey, these are all of the developers that I work with, because do you know a lot of developers in Mexico, they run out of money. There's not a lot of laws on that. People run out of money, developers run out of money. So you want to say, hey, like these guys are legit. They've done this project, this project, this project. They're guaranteeing these kinds of returns or this kind of appreciation, or they have these amenities. You want to work with the pre-vetted guys that I have in my network. So sign up to my page, my website, my Facebook group, my newsletter, whatever that is. You want to have a centralized pre-vetted opportunity there. So this is actually going to be a revenue opportunity for you, because you can have these developers pay you to sponsor their projects. You can have these developers pay you money to sponsor these projects. So here's how this deal flow would go. Your job is to qualify buyers, just like the first one. Hey, do you have cash to buy this? Can you get approved for this? You can also work with mortgage brokers in Mexico and get them to give you a commission for bringing them qualified buyers. And now you're double dipping. You're getting paid from the mortgage broker. You're getting paid from the title company. You're getting paid from the real estate attorney. You're getting paid from the developer here or the sales team here. Now you're getting revenue from just making introductions. All you got to do is qualify the buyer, hand off the reservation, have some pipeline visibility, make sure you're tracking the close, and then post-sale nurture. So this is an opportunity for you to upsell this opportunity into other offers that you have. Dentist, health insurance, home insurance, pest control. You can get your hand and double dip in every one of those things because you're the guy. You're the trusted guy. You're Mr. R. You already have the network. So get paid for it. And as a bonus, this is a low fulfillment. You don't really got to do too much here. So what's our goal here? You want to have a commission at $10,000 for every one of these properties that you sell. Ideally, you do that 100 times, boom, you're at $1 million. Could take 2 years to get there. Could take 1 year to get there. Could take 3 years to get there. But the money's there. The project's there. People are going to move to that city anyways. Developers are going to build projects anyways. Why not you get paid for making everybody's lives easier? You're making the developer's life easy because you're providing them contacts, people that are pre-qualified, and you're making these qualified buyers easy because you're only presenting them to developers that are legit, that have finished projects that you know have a strong reputation, because a lot of buyers have a lot of hesitation because of that. And you're going to be the superstar hero that helped them move from their country to your city in Mexico and get paid while doing it. So here's the mindset for this one. So again, you are a bird dog for real estate developers. You are a bird dog for real estate developers. You qualify buyers and you make intros and you build relationships. That's it. This is super low fulfillment. And that's a great way for you to execute play number 2. And that's help people move, help people get in to some real estate in Mexico. That's play number 2. Hey, by the way, I am a professional consultant. I help business owners and entrepreneurs and executives and professionals like you come up with a game plan just like this, custom fit for you. If you're looking for some consulting, send me a message on Instagram and say, hey, Frank, I want to work with you as a consultant. And who knows, if you give me something interesting like Mr. R did, I might even make a video like this just for you. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. So we mentioned this earlier. However, for play number 3, what I would do is I would have investor discovery trips. This is going to be a 3 to 4 day conference, either in Querétaro, where you're at, or in Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, some of those places. Cancun would be the easiest because it's really easy to get to Cancun, and there's a lot more infrastructure in Cancun. Plus, the beaches are beautiful in Cancun. Shout out to Cancun. So same thing. We're going to go through this whole strategy step by step. So who's going to pay you in this one? 2 people are going to pay you, or 2 groups are going to pay you. The first one is going to be the attendees. This is a paid conference that they've got to go to, and you're going to have sponsors there. Here's how the economics work out. Per attendee, you want to have a $2,000 profit margin, and per sponsor, you want to have them be charged anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000. So your target here is 20 attendees. These are not super huge events. You want these to be intimate. You want these to be small. You want these to be very exclusive. That's why you charge the money that you charge. Remember, this is not for everybody. This is only for people who have money to invest. It's not for everybody. So if you get 20 people coming here, you're going to get $40,000 per event that you throw just from the attendees. And that's profit. That's after paying for the hotel space, paying for everything that you want, your flights to Cancun, all of that. 40,000 bucks. Not bad. Not bad. That's per event. Now I want you to target 4 sponsors. When you have 20 people, you're really going for the more corporate sponsors, people that are like, hey, would you like 20 qualified leads to pitch to and have a relationship with? So I want you to have 2 at 10,000 and 2 at 25,000. That means that you'll have 70,000 total from your sponsors. So per event, you're going to get $110,000 total per event. So how are you going to acquire these attendees? Again, with the events. You want to have events locally. I'm going to come to that, I believe, on the next one. You want to have events locally and maybe even in different locations in the United States, maybe in other cities in Mexico. You just want to have events and you want to make people aware about this thing. This is one of your big meccas, your big retreats. Every thought leader, every influencer has their one thing that they do. This is your one thing right here. Your investor discovery trip in Cancun, or it could be Cabo, it could be another place, Acapulco maybe. You also want to have a newsletter out there so you're constantly letting people know about when the next event is going. You're also going to have webinars. Say, hey, come check this out. Drive traffic to that webinar, partner with influencers, partner with people that are in the make money online or biz op space and say, hey, I got this thing in Mexico. Come on, check us out. And organic content. That's how you're going to acquire people for this opportunity. So here's how the operations work out. This is actually pretty turnkey. You're going to work with somebody at the hotel. They're going to plan out all the events. You're also going to work with the sponsors, and the sponsors are actually going to be doing most of the talking. They're going to be educating / pitching the people and showing them what is it like to work with them and how does it all work. I would recommend to do 1 trip per quarter to start, but you may very soon find yourself doing this once a month, if not once every 6 weeks. So we've got a couple goals here. The first goal is the attendees. So every year, I want you to bring in 80 attendees per year at a $2,000 profit. That's $160,000 for the year. I also want you to bring 8 sponsors at 10,000. That's 2 per event. That's $80,000 there from 8 sponsors. Could be the same 8 sponsors, or it could be the same 2 sponsors for every event. And then I want you to bring in another 8 sponsors at 25,000. So your total upfront for this is going to be 440,000 to throw these events. To say another way, you're going to get paid almost $500,000 just to put up these events. But you're going to say, hey, Frank, I thought you said you were going to show me how to make $1 million per play. Absolutely. So that's $440,000 up front. But don't forget about the bonus, because you're going to have back end upsells. So this is where your referrals, your commission, your revenue share agreements come in. The people that are sponsors, they're going to maybe pay you a commission for getting some deals, and you can negotiate that. If these people who are attendees don't work with your sponsors, you can still serve them. You're the concierge. You're the guy. You already have the connections. They can leverage working with you, and you can plug them into your network. So you have an opportunity to upsell them on the back end. So here's what the mindset looks like for this. You are the host. You're throwing a party. You are the host. Even though it's business, you're the party guy. You're setting up the function. You're setting up the environment. And what are you doing? Again, you are qualifying buyers. You are going out into the marketplace. You're identifying qualified buyers. You're speaking their language. You're communicating to them on things that they're interested in through organic content, paid ads, webinars, in-person events, referrals, influencer marketing. You're going out to the marketplace and you're raising their awareness, and you're saying, hey, do you have money? Do you want to make your money multiply in Mexico? So you're qualifying the buyers. You're making the intros. You're building relationships. So the mindset here is that you do all of the legwork and you bring qualified opportunities to investors. So you make their life easier. You make the investors' life easier. You save them time. You save them money. That's very valuable to an investor. So that's play number 3. Again, the first play was finder's fees from franchise brokerage. Play number 2 is developer referrals through new build construction. And this play right here is investor discovery trips. Those are 3 different ways to get to $1 million for the opportunity that you have. By the way, if you're watching this, think about how you can apply this to your industry. Maybe a different niche, different product, different service, but a lot of these strategies will still translate over to you. So now let's get into play number 4, and that is event sponsorships. So who's going to pay you for this? Banks, developers, relocation providers, service providers, CPA, certified public accountants, and franchises, plus more. Anybody who sells to this clientele, they're the ones going to pay you. And when I say event sponsorships, that's because you're going to be throwing an event. And here's how that works out. So the event is free for people to come in. At each meetup, you're going to charge sponsors $1,000 to $5,000 per sponsor. That's an average of $2,500, $2,500 per sponsor per month. So you're going to be doing this monthly. And every single month, you're going to have 3 different packages. You're going to have the silver package, the gold package, and the diamond package. You're going to present this to these people here and say, hey, I have this monthly event. These are the kinds of people that come here. You're going to market to those kinds of people. And you're going to tell the sponsors, this is how much it's going to cost for your business to be in front of them. And we can work out a deal where you're showing up every single month in front of these people. Would that be of value to you? For some businesses, it would. And here's how you acquire these guys. Events, again, the events are going to build themselves. Make the event the main thing. Newsletters, paid ads, organic content, and influencer marketing. Remember, you're going to be doing this to people that are not living in Mexico. I don't want to sell to Mexicans. I don't want to sell to Mexicans here. I don't want to sell to Mexican nationals. I want to sell to people that are living in the United States. The top 5, we call this a top 5. The United States, Canada, Australia, UK, and New Zealand. I want to sell to those 5 markets. USA, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Those are the top 5 places where I'm advertising this opportunity to, the top 5. So how does the operations work on this? Number 1, organize the meetups. You come from an event background, do that same exact thing, but make it a mix of business and a mix of pleasure. What do I mean by mix of business? Have speakers there, have workshops there where they're getting something out of that, where you're making it attractive for somebody who's a high level person to actually come out and go to this event. And here's a pro tip. You can have the people who are speakers or hosting workshops, you can actually have them pay to have the opportunity to present in front of these people and help these people, because it might help their business. They might work with them, and you can work out even a back-end commission offer on the back end. And you also want to have a mix of pleasure. It's Mexico. There's fun entertainment there. You want to have performers, whether they're dancers, mariachis, whatever you want to have. Just make it interesting. Switch it up. Don't have it be the same thing every single month. Switch it up on them. Have activities there, and then have food and drink experiences. That's what Mexico's all about. It's got great gastronomy, great food, great cocktail culture. There's a lot of awesome tequila out there. So pro tip, have these restaurants, have these brands pay you to have the privilege to serve their food, their drinks at your events. That's another revenue generating opportunity for you. Remember, you're building a crowd of expats. You're building a crowd of foreign investors who want to make moves, foreign movers, shakers, and entrepreneurs. You're bringing them to your country, your city, your marketplace. And if anybody wants to have access to them, they got to pay money to be in front of them. So your goal here is to have 10 sponsors per month at an average of $2,500 per sponsor. That means that with this business model, you should be having $250,000 a year, 25 grand a month. Now, as a bonus, you also have the back end upsells, because I hear you, Frank, you said you were going to show me ways to get $1 million. $250,000 is not $1 million. Hold on, slowly. Hold your horses. The bonus comes on the back end upsells. This is, again, for your referrals and for your commissions. So what's the mindset here? You're the party host. You set the environment to where people can connect, and not just any people, high performing foreign investors who want to multiply their wealth. You're selling brands the opportunity to partner and be associated with your party guests. And here's another pro tip for you. Vet your guests. So vet your guests, make it exclusive, and make them feel like celebrities. Consider things like private cars, private invitations. Make it feel like it's a white party from Miami or New York City or LA or something like that. They should feel like that. And make it an exclusive community, because you are the party host. All right, so that is play number 4. The first play was the franchise play. The second play was the real estate play. The third play was the investor discovery trips. And this one is your monthly event sponsorships, where every single month in your city, or maybe in cities all over Mexico, you're hosting events and you're inviting people from all over the world to come to those events. And that's going to get them into your ecosystem. That's kind of like the starter drug. Now let's go to play number 5. And this is one of my personal favorites. This is what I actually do in my day job. This is corporate soft landing packages, also known as nearshore setup. So who's going to pay you here? Companies that are in the US or the EU. This wouldn't really work with Australia or New Zealand. I would also put Canada on here, but I really want to target US or European Union companies. And what's the economics here? You're going to charge $50,000 per engagement to help them set up their business entity, their physical office, hiring, getting compliant with all the local laws, and vendors. You're going to start all of that for $50,000. This isn't just for like a random guy. This is for a business owner who wants to expand into Mexico and build an actual office in Mexico, either in your city or in a city in Mexico. You're going to offer them this service. And here's how you acquire those kinds of people. Events are your bread and butter. All roads lead to these events. These events, you really want to have that be your top of the funnel where everybody's coming to you and they're getting started in your ecosystem. Newsletters, paid ads. Again, we want to go to the US, UK, maybe Canada. And we also want to include some places in the European Union. You also want to have organic content, things like founder podcasts, where you're going on those business shows and saying, here's why you should go and set up a company in Mexico. You also want to do cold outreach. Hey, some people who don't know this is an opportunity. Educate them. Say, hey, I have something that might be interested or valuable to you. You can call them. You can mail them. You can send them cold messages on social media. You can cold email them. So many things you can do, but cold outreach is going to be crucial here for you. And you also want to be posting on LinkedIn case studies that you're doing. And most importantly, you actually want to bundle and partner with outsourcing companies like mine, which now leads me to today's sponsor. Today's sponsors of today's video is Salas Staffing. That's actually my company. We help entrepreneurs, small and medium-sized businesses, hire offshore staff from all over the world. We're not talking VAs here. If you know me, follow my content. VAs are trash. VAs are garbage. I'm talking about skilled, qualified professionals that are already working at the world's largest brands, companies like Apple, Uber, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Airbnb. All of these companies are already outsourcing all over the world. And guess what? My company, Salas Staffing, has access to these people. And if you have a business with a product market fit and you are already paying payroll taxes, we can help you minimize your payroll expense and hire people of high quality, that's entry level, mid-level, senior level, and executive level talent to come inside of your business and add a massive impact for 60 to 80% less than what it costs you to hire locally. Does that sound interesting? Send me a DM on Instagram at Talented Mr. Salas, or send me a message on LinkedIn. You can find me by searching Frank Salas. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming. All right, so this is how the deliverables would work out. So for this, if I'm you, I'm actually going to hire a project manager, or I'm going to partner with them. If I partner with them, I'm going to break them off with anywhere from 20 to 50% of the deal. Just kind of depends on how much work they do. And all of these sponsors, from your franchise brokerages, your developer referrals, your insider discovery sponsors, your event sponsorships, all of your partner network, they're going to be the people that actually deliver. You're going to set up everything, charge a fee, and you're going to work with your existing staff, your existing partners, your existing network, and just leverage that. The goal here is super simple. You want 20 packages at $50,000. That's going to get you to $1 million. And bonus is you're also going to have back-end upsells, referrals, commissions. You want to, the people that they hire, they're going to need places to live. They're going to need houses. They're going to need cars. You want to have that entire network ready to go. You're their concierge. You're their one-stop shop for everything. So the mindset here is that you are a business concierge. You've already done all of the legwork. You already have all of the partners, and you will save them months of time and lots of money not wasted. So you're going to help them and save time. This is a huge value add. If somebody is a business owner, they value their time more than they value their money. You're going to say, hey, if you did this by yourself, it's going to take you 6 to 18 months. If you do it with me, we're going to get it done in 6 weeks. We're going to get it done in 90 days. We're going to get it done in 8 weeks. That's going to save them a lot of time, and that's going to help them be more competitive in their marketplace, because when this office is up and running, guess what? Now they can actually aggressively go after the market. Now they have an edge up on their competition, because their competition is hiring people locally, and you are helping them set up an offshore or nearshore staff in Mexico where it costs way less to do business just because it has a lower cost of living. All right, so we have covered all 5 plays: the franchise play, the real estate play, the investor discovery trip play, hosting events and getting paid for that, and now finally the corporate soft landing packages. So that's the 5 ways how I would take this to $1 million. Each one of these will get you to $1 million. Collectively, you could easily get to over 5 to 15, 10 million if you committed to this. Now, as promised, I'm going to share with you a bonus play. This is something that I personally do to build wealth. This is known as the rev share, also known as equity slivers on select deals. So let me walk you through what this looks like. So who's going to pay you on this? American, EU, UK, Australian, New Zealand companies, entrepreneurs, franchisors, and developers. The people we were already talking about. Everybody who is in all of these are the people that are going to pay you. How is it going to work out? So you're going to provide so much value for them that you're going to work out a deal where you're getting an ongoing percentage of fees or a tiny equity for distribution access. What does that mean? That means you're getting 1 to 5% of equity in the company. This is a long tail strategy. This is not something that you do with somebody from day one. You can also go through 1 to 5% of the partner's gross. That means, like, what does their company make per month on sourced deals? What does that mean? That means a royalty fee. You could have a royalty fee of 1 to 5% of whatever their companies are making every single month, every single quarter. Ideally, you get paid every month or every quarter. Some cases you might get paid weekly. That's kind of a financial headache. I would say shoot for monthly, if not quarterly. You could even possibly do yearly, but quarterly is better. So how do you acquire these kinds of deals? You only want to partner with top tier partners after their first wins. They have to have already received value and succeeded in working with you. The pro tip here is that this allows you to have better negotiating power. You have already won for them. So it's easy for them. Like, oh yeah, Frank helped me out with this. Cool. Yeah, he's going to help me out with this other thing too. It's a lot easier. And you want to do a deal with them first because you want to see what it's like to work with them. One of the worst things you could do is just blindly partner with somebody. You have no idea how it's like to work with them. Here's what the operations to make this deal actually looks like. You want to have a strong legal team. You want to have a strong financial team, and you want to have strong connections and relationships, which is why this whole play exists in the first place. So with your strong legal team, you're going to have contracts, agreements, or SLA. Pro tip, an SLA is a service level agreement. This says, hey, I'm responsible for this. They can't get mad at you or sue you or kick you out of the company because you're not cleaning toilets. That's not in your SLA. You didn't sign up to clean toilets. You signed up to do X, Y, and Z, whatever that may be, whatever your expertise is, whatever your network is, whatever that may be. You signed up and you both signed an SLA, a service level agreement. And it says, this is the level of service that I want to provide to you, and we're going to agree on it. You sign it, I sign it, we sign it, and we go by this document. We can change it if we both agree. And if there's any disagreement, we're going to go based on this SLA. Your strong financial team is going to be comprised of an audit team. This is going to make sure you're getting paid on time for your royalties or distributions and that they're accurate. A lot of times people might forget to pay you what they owe you. And if you have a strong financial team, they're going to audit the hell out of them. And then finally, your connections, your relationships. This is massive leverage for somebody who's not plugged in. Think about it. You're dealing with somebody who doesn't possibly speak the local language, and you're their guy. You're their huckleberry. You're taking them to the promised land. So that's a massive leverage for somebody who's not connected like you are. This is a win-win situation. This is a win for the business owner because they're speeding up the time to get to market. They're speeding up the time to learn the language. It's a win for you because you're getting paid for it, or you're getting some kind of royalty or equity for it. And it's a win for your vendors. It's a win for your network because they are going to get business through the business that you bring in. So what is our goal here? This is a long-term play. This is not a short-term play. You want to do 1 to 3 deals a year. You're aiming for quarterly distributions and or monthly royalties. And as a bonus, and this is what I do, pay attention here, you want to get bought out. So you want to add so much value to this company to where it's growing. You actually want to bust your butt off. If they give you 0.01%, if they give you 0.00001%, bust your butt off. Make that company worth a lot more, because when you're adding value to a company and you're making the company add more value, you're making the company worth more. Guess what? Your little part of the company, your minority share, is worth a lot more. And in the future, you could either demand a buyout, or they could already just take your network and, like, they've already been there. Maybe they live there. They've been working with you 5, 6, 7 years. Now they don't need you. You're not really adding as much value. So they can just buy you out. You could set up systems, processes, teams where they don't need to rely on you. You've already done your work. You spent the first 3 years getting it all set up. Now they don't need you anymore. Well, they can buy you out. But when they buy you out, they're going to buy you out at the value of the company that it is now at. When you came in, the value was here. You added value and it is now here. And they're going to buy you out here. Now you're a minority owner, so you'll get paid a little bit. But a little bit of this is a lot more than a little bit of that. So you want to make sure that you're always adding value, even if it's not in your SLA. I'm finding ways to come in and making that company more value. I'm doing that. I may be even trying to get more equity for more performance by really hustling and make things growing. Because by the time it's time for you to get bought out, let's say when you start, the company's worth 100 grand and you own 1%. Well, if they were to buy you out at that time, you're only going to get paid $1,000. But if by the time you get it to where it's successful and it's worth $1 million, well, if you own 1% of that, now it's 10,000. If it's 10 million, well, now your stake is 100,000. If it's 100 million, stake is 1. You see what I'm saying? The more value it grows up, the higher your value is. And when they pay you out, that's straight cash, baby. That's cash money. That's going to allow you to invest into your next thing, where you don't need partners. You don't need somebody else getting the big chunk of the pie. For where you are right now, it's totally normal and accessible for you to get paid little by little, but that's how you build wealth. It's something that I've personally done multiple times. That's allowed me to get lump sums of cash to build what I call a war chest, so that I can take that war chest and I could either chill for a couple of years, or I could say, yeah, now I got some capital. I don't need a bank. I can take this capital and I can do something with it. I can start that idea that I've had in my head for my next business. And as an entrepreneur, especially if you're a serial entrepreneur or a visionary entrepreneur, and if you're watching this long, you probably are. You're probably a visionary entrepreneur. If you're watching it this long, leave me a brain emoji because you are a visionary entrepreneur and say, yeah, Frank, I am a visionary entrepreneur. Leave that here. Make sure you like. If you haven't liked already, show me some love, because this is something that I've done to help me build wealth. I don't come from a wealthy family. A wealthy family has to come from me. That's my position. That's the cards that I was dealt, and I'm playing my hand. And this is something that I'm doing and that I have done to be able to have resources and capital to where I can be very choosy with my decisions. I don't got to go take a job. I don't got to work with people that I don't like. I don't got to work with people that don't add value to me. I get to pick and choose my opportunities, and I want that for you. So when you get bought out, that gives you money to start making bigger moves. What is the mindset here? The mindset is your network and knowledge is an asset. You've already set all of this up. For the people that you work well with, partner with them. Waive all of your commissions, waive all of your fees. Tell these people, hey, I'm going to give you partner pricing. That's the keyword that you want to say. Hey, if we partner together, if you give me equity in your company, you're going to get partner pricing across all of my people. So instead of you getting paid a commission, you're going to work out a deal with, hey, insurance company, instead of paying me a commission, can I just get like a lower rate? Can I get a more preferred rate for my partners? Because I'm going to bring you business anyways, but instead of just paying me a commission, can I just like waive that? You don't got to pay me, but I do want maybe a concession, a lower rate on my partners that I work with, because those are actually my companies too. Can I just get a better rate working with you guys? And now you're going to save money for the people that you're partnering with. And that's a massive value add. And give them access to everything. This is massively attractive for the right businesses who value profit margins. Those people who value profit margins, those are the serious entrepreneurs. Those are the people that are all about their business. Those are the real movers. Those are the real shakers. Those are the people that are going to, with you, push that company to a higher valuation. So when it's time to get bought out, your share, your equity position is going to be worth a lot more. And that's going to give you that war chest that I talked about. So I showed you 5 different strategies plus a bonus strategy that I personally use to build wealth. My name is Frank Salas. I'm internationally known as the talented Mr. Salas. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, I post videos up like this in business. I throw a couple of travel in there, show you what it's like to live overseas, international. And most importantly, I want to see you be successful. And that's why I make these videos. When I first came up in the entrepreneurship game, I used to get on my hands and knees and pray to God for somebody like me to share game in a format like this. And I had to learn by paying consultants tens of thousands of dollars per year to learn all the business knowledge that I have. And I'm giving this to you all for free. And I only ask one thing: like my video, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you would like some personal consulting, reach out to me on Instagram at Talented Mr. Salas. Find me on LinkedIn, Frank Salas, or go to my website, Frank Salas Jr., that's jr.com, and send me a message there. See ya.